Business owners disagreeing with President Biden and say those extra federal jobless benefits are indeed keeping a lot of folks from taking work. That's why more and more states are ending the benefits, including Montana. And the Republican senator from that state joins me now. Steve Daines is also co-sponsoring a bill to stop the extended benefits across the country. Senator, good to see you. There are 18 states now that have joined Montana. I believe they're all Republican. Is this coming down to a partisan divide?
Well, sadly, it is. It really should be more about common sense. David, the bottom line is this. The government is paying more money for people to stay home than to go to work. And people take a look at the benefits, they make a logical conclusion, and they stay home. This is a labor crisis, not a job crisis. My wife and I were in my pickup here last week. Drove by a small business in Montana, and there were balloons everywhere around the business. It looked like a car sale, but they weren't selling cars. They had tents set up. I thought it was a promotion. They're trying to sell something. It was a hiring fair. They're trying to find people.
It's amazing.
So anytime you're paying about $17 an hour is the current benefit with the state plus this generous federal benefit, it's about $17 an hour to stay home. And I'm thankful for these Republican governors like Greg Gianforte in Montana. He led the way 10 days ago. He said we're going to do two things. We're going to stop this additional $300 a week federal unemployment benefit, plus we're going to pay a $1,200 hiring bonus if you go back to work. Because he knows, he's a business guy, that people need paychecks, not government checks. Here's what happened. We have a small business in Montana that just told me a couple of days ago that prior to Governor Gianforte's announcement, they were seeing about one application a week for all these open positions. After he made the pronouncement, they got 60 applications.
Wow. Well, that's great, although it's kind of weird that you have to pay people to come to work. It just shows you how distorted the whole economy has become. Of course, we knew it was going to be distorted by all these lockdowns, but it's come to a new level. Nevertheless, the president insists that these unemployment benefits are not specifically related to all the unfilled jobs. Here's what he said earlier this week. Play tape.
I know there's been a lot of discussion since Friday's report, that people are being paid to stay home rather than go to work. Well, we don't see much evidence of that.
The evidence is clear, Senator, from my perspective. I've been following this for decades now. You have 8.1 million unfilled jobs. 8.1 million unfilled jobs. It just about equals the number of jobs that we still have lost as a result of the pandemic. Can you think of any other? I know that there are some people that are still afraid of going back to work because of the pandemic, but with everybody getting vaccinated now, or a lot of people getting vaccinated or had the virus, it's hard to find other reasons as compelling as these unemployment benefits.
Well, I'll tell you, President Biden and Vice President Harris, they're living in an alternate reality. They need to get out of the White House, go spend some time with some small business owners, ask them what's going on. They'll tell you very quickly, anytime you're paying people more to stay home than to go to work, they're going to stay home. It's not that complicated. I'm thankful for these Republican governors, 13 of them, now that have followed Montana's lead with some common sense.
You know, you mentioned the $17 an hour. That's how much you'd have to pay to compete with the government's unemployment benefits. In New York, it's like over $20 an hour because there are more generous state unemployment benefits and everything. And you think of all the small businesses that just can't afford to pay their workers that much money. They have a relatively small profit margin. They're not Apple, they're not Amazon. They got a 5% profit margin. They can't go, if they start hiring people at $20 an hour, they're going to go broke. It's that simple.
It is. And David, you were talking about inflation earlier. This is one more contributing factor to inflation that's going on in our economy at the moment. This is constraint in the labor force. And again, it's not a job crisis, it's a labor crisis.
And yet the chief economist for the president, Cecilia Rouse, said earlier that it actually might end up being a good thing because it would push up wages. Let me play her tape and get your response.
Do you think employers should be considering paying their employees more now as one of the solutions to the 8.1 million open jobs that currently exist?
Jobs are not risk-free, right? They've become a little riskier. And so if employers have to pay a little bit more to compensate those employees to take on that risk, I think that's appropriate.
We only have 10 seconds, Senator, but, you know, she makes it sound so easy, but she's an economist, again, not in the real world, as you suggested.
Well, I'm a business guy for 28 years before I got into politics. What's happening, our businesses are competing against the federal government. I'm all for free market forces, businesses competing with businesses. The problem is they're competing with the federal government,
Right.
and that's pretty tough to win when you're competing against the government.
Senator Daines, good to see you. Thank you very much for coming in. Appreciate it.
Thanks,
Well,
David.